What is up, it's Mikey, and today we're going to go over the 4 new vehicles available today in the GTA Online High Life update. Now for the apartments and clothing and other things, I have those in separate videos, links down below, but right now let's focus on the vehicles. First up, the Thrust, the new bike, $75,000, the Masacro, $275K, the Zentorno, $725K, and the Huntley S, $195K. So also while you're there, you should check out the other vehicles. Some of them were updated, and so now you can buy a drop top or a hard top version of vehicles where you really weren't able to choose right off the bat. And if you head over to the San Andreas Super Auto website, they did add a couple new vehicles. We got the Vapid Dominator, Ocelot, a couple Ubermacht vehicles, so definitely go and check those out. Alright, so first up we have the Enos Huntley S, and this sort of looks like it was based off of a Bentley. Pretty cool styling there. And I'm just going to go over the basic mods, the ones that you will notice the most. We got a lot to cover here. So you get the choices of a vented hood, double vented hood, a carbon hood, and then I ended up going with a carbon vented hood. Also, they did add new horns, but these are different. So what I think the idea here is you and your friends get a bunch of these horns and then you make music out of it. So I can't wait to see what kind of videos people will post off of these. So these horns really meant for you and your friends to collaborate and make music out of these. But continuing with the Huntley, its secondary color does change the hood and the roof, so you can get pretty creative with that. And an interesting thing about it is, of all the SUVs, I don't recall any of them being able to get slammed like this. So you don't get any ground effects, you don't get custom bumpers and skirts, but to make up for that, you can definitely slam this vehicle. So that's pretty cool. And so here's my version all said and done. And because you can slam it, it does make it look pretty cool, pretty unique. So moving on to the Dinka Thrust, yeah, you can tell by the way you sit on it, it is a cruiser, it's not a super bike or anything, and really not much to talk about. You get one option for exhaust. You can have the twin carbon exhaust there. You can change the fairings, just make one a little bit bigger, and then you can add the saddlebags in the back. You know, it is a cruiser bike, and that's pretty much it. Really nothing to talk about there. So if you just want a bike that's in between a sport and sort of like a cruising bike, well, here you go. Next up, the Dubachi Masacro. This one's very cool, lots of cool mods. Now, in my opinion, it seems to be based off of Vanquish. Other people said it isn't, but those headlights say otherwise. Lots of cool options for the front end. I ended up going with the carbon race splitter there. A lot of these options are very much like the Jester. So in the rear end, you only get 2 choices, but the rear race diffuser was definitely for me. It has the tow hook on there, and it adds little rivets. And much like the Jester, this has a race roll cage option that adds the colored roll cage and the air ducts. You also get a little tiny scoop on the roof. And for your fenders, just like the Jester, again, race wing vents. So very cool, and of course the typical options you get with the hood. Something interesting though, I'm not sure if I like this or not. The race wing spoiler and the GT wing spoiler have in big letters Dubachi, and I'm not sure if I like that or not. As far as I know, it's the only vehicle that you can do that to. What do you guys think? You like this? Yay or nay? And here's mine all said and done. I might do some more tweaks to it, but it's very customizable. I like it. Reminds me of the Jester in a way. And finally, the big one, the Pegassi Zentorno. It does take a couple cues from Ferrari. Very cool. Looking at out back, let's start with the rear end. There is no license plate. You can't change it because there is none, front or rear. Not sure about some of these options. You know, it has that big, huge ellipse exhaust. I really didn't like that one, but hey, to each his own. And for the hood, you can get rid of the vents and go with the slippy hood, and you can also add a stripe to it, which will go by the secondary color. Lots of cool options for the spoiler, but I think the one we're going to see the most of is the racing spoiler, which adds sort of a body mod to it. It really changes the appearance of the car. It looks really cool. Now for your wheels, you probably don't want to change out the stock wheels because they actually take on the secondary. And so here you see I reverse the colors. I got the flat black, and the secondary has all kinds of cool little accents that you can change, so you can get pretty creative with this. Sort of kind of reminds you of like Tron in a way. So this makes the Zentorno one of only 2 cars in GTA that have vertical opening doors. So that's the Pagasi Zentorno and the Pagasi Infernus. So anyhow, which ones are you guys gonna buy? Again, I have links down below to the apartment, the clothing. If you want to play with me, also where I do giveaways, I am doing one right now. I do that on my Twitter and Facebook, so you should probably follow me there. Links down below to that. Please take 3 seconds to rate the video, and I'll see you guys next time. So let's just cut to the chase. First up, Del Perro Heights Apartment 4. This is going to run you $468K. And just a quick glance around the apartment, a little quick tour. We've got this weird planter here. You can go in there. Watch out, you might get stuck for a bit. And making our way through, we go to what many people consider the heist room. And you notice there is no map of Los Santos, etc. So it looks like this is where you're going to be planning your heist, but we'll see what happens.